today is going to be the only wholesome content in the game, I guess. I mean, I suppose most of the first play day that we had of this, because I didn't actually get into any of the festival content, that was pretty wholesome. But it was foreshadowing some, the fucked up shit that happens later in the game. I love how it didn't censor that one, but it censors every other time, I swear. Good job, Google Translate. For anybody that didn't know, I have a auto captioning system set up. So if you're on Twitch or Trovo, there should be a caption icon if you hover over where the video is, and you can enable native captions through there. It's also accessible with like actual screen reading technology, so that people that are hard of hearing can enable the captions and then pipe that into their screen reading thing. I guess maybe hard of hearing probably wouldn't work, but people that are visually impaired, I guess. I don't know. Crippled Kenny was the one that, he's a Twitch streamer partner who basically walked me through all this and helped me get it set up, and he's really cool. So there's a reason we do this. I forget exactly what the workflow is, but the way I have it set up, it should be accessible with pretty much all the most common accessibility software. So there's that. The thing I was referring to though is it usually will censor out when I swear, and for some reason it did not do it this time. So whatever. It's just an unusual thing. I get a live readout of what it's doing as I speak, and seems like the audio seems to be working pretty okay today. I haven't peaked at all. Again, I literally changed nothing, but every single stream it seems like it's just random, whether or not it's hypersensitive or whatever. But anyway, oh, there we go. Yes, I kind of yelled into the microphone. Anyway, today is going to be Doki Appreciation Day. Since we finished the main game, we can now officially rank the Dokis based off Doki ability, I guess. We'll get into that in a few minutes. And then after that, we're going to do the Doki Doki Literature Club Plus content, which is the Steam-specific DLC for this game. And it takes place before the main game. So this is, I think, technically before Monica becomes self-aware. So everything would play out as if it's a traditional visual novel. And it has a pretty wholesome ending. I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of like it gives closure to the series in a way, because it's heavily implied in the ending of the plus content that this is all in a loop. So, like at the very end when Monica deleted all the other characters, it doesn't really matter because the virtual machine can be reset, and then it just loops through each and every time. And then the plus content canonically is meant to be played the way I'm doing it, where you play it after the main game, but it's actually a prequel, but it shows you that it's a loop. And if you were actually in the game, like say Monica were a real person, then it'd be kind of fucked up. Especially if you're like, oh look, I'm literally living in a time loop right now. That is unfortunate. But anyway, this is the official good ending to the game. And then there's several mods that have been released that provide like a more complete, like non-cyclical completion or story. It completes the story in a linear fashion. So you have like prequel, main game, where Monica deletes everything, and then the mod picks up after that and tells its own story, and then kind of wraps everything up there. I was thinking about playing it, but the one that is most popular is like another 20-hour game, and really not looking forward to that. We've spent way too much time on this game. I rather enjoy the game, but it's getting to be time to move on. I've had Fallout 76 on my list of games to start playing for at least the past month. It's giving me time to work out the character that I'll be playing as we roleplay our way through the wastelands of Appalachia. But yeah, we gotta do this today. Should be about 4 hours worth of content. I typically only stream like 2 to 3 hours, so I don't know if we're gonna really get through it all today. We may just throw this into tomorrow's stream or something, or maybe even just extend it on another week. Just never finish this game. But yeah, I want to finish this as well as Red Faction before we move on to Fallout 76. Red Faction, we should be able to finish in literally like half an hour tomorrow. So I'm not too worried about that. So anything we don't do tonight, we may just finish tomorrow in Doki Doki Literature Club. And then we'll finish Red Faction. And I got that Japanese game. I can't pronounce it for the life of me, so I'm not even going to try. But I posted it on Twitter because somebody had said it was like this great game. But it's all Japanese only. It's convenient because I can't read. So we'll just go through the game and hope we can figure it out. I'll probably use the phone version of Google Translate to translate that. And then kind of work my way through that. Because the phone version has a camera integration. You can just hold it up to a sign or something and it'll auto-translate it as long as it's able to get a clear picture of that. So that's going to be this week. I will probably stream out mode on one of the days that I'm working, but I'm not too tired after work because I really got to get the review of that done, and it's like a month overdue, and it's just terrible. But in a way, it's a good thing I waited as long. I mean, I didn't intentionally wait, but it's a good thing I got delayed because he's pushed out several updates to the game that have apparently improved things quite a bit. And it's been a while since the last update, so I would assume everything's been sorted out with that. So we'll get a review posted, and then anybody that hasn't already figured out, I've also created a new TikTok account, and I'm going to use that for like memes, small clips, and really, really fast reviews. So my whole thought process is I'm going to establish like a kind of a workflow to the games that I play and review. So we'll do a live stream where I actually, play the game like we usually do. And then from that, I'm going to cut it down into like a kind of a let's play kind of game where I just cut out all the bullshit and everything and just have the core gameplay. And then from that, I'll cut that even further, or maybe even just re-record and do a like a 10-minute review, post it on YouTube. And then on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, we'll do like a 60-second review where it's like, hey, this is the game I play, this is the genre, this is what I thought of it, this is the score that I would assign to the game if this were like a legitimate review. We'll see how that goes. And then we'll do the similar, well, I guess you can't really do similar per se, because you can't live stream like an album, but I'm going to do similar reviews for music that I get sent, because I've had a few albums I was asked to review, and they've been sitting for months as well. So, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm like so far behind on my projects, but it's all on the Twitter. I just literally haven't been sleeping because they've been working outside my house for the past 3 weeks, and it's been a nightmare every single day. Because I'm not typically tired until like 4 in the morning, so I would like fall asleep at maybe 5, sometimes 6. Well, lately, the birds have been acting up again. Those of you that have kept around are aware of the massive bird war that we had, where the birds were waking me up at like 5 in the morning, chirping. And then one of them flew into my house, scared the crap out of me. And then, yeah, it hasn't gotten much better. But the good news is all this construction that we've been having the past few weeks seems to have driven the birds away. So hopefully that'll stay. Realistically, I'm aware that it's not. But yeah, it's basically I wasn't sleeping because, the birds are chirping in the morning, and then like by the time I get to sleep, it'd be like 8 in the morning, and I'd get like 2 hours worth of sleep for work, and then have to drink so much damn coffee and whatnot that I'd be too wired to go to sleep after work, and then just the cycle would complete. It would just keep going every single day. And then the construction started. And the construction, there's literally a day where I was like, well, not really a day, because it was multiple physical days, but one day that I was awake, if you know what I mean, where I was up for like 37 hours. No, it was more than that. It was probably about 2 days straight, like probably closer to 45 hours or so. Like, I was up so long. I didn't get any sleep, and I just crashed, and I ended up being late for work that day, too. That was good. I still haven't heard back if I'm going to get in trouble for that one, but we'll see. That's why I was making jokes on the internet about I might need to be a full-time content creator, because just the sleep deprivation is destroying me completely. But anyway, nobody came here to listen to me talking about being tired all the time. So let's start playing Doki Doki Literature Club. We're going to start by ranking the Dokis, because this is not misogynistic at all. But it's like tradition. Anybody that's played this game, anybody that's watched the streams, usually will do this. And, you know, you gotta do it. We're going to start with the easy one. We're going to start with Natsuke. Natsuke is going to be F tier Doki. The reason being, and this is admittedly just the way her characters are in here, we'll use the plus icon one as well. Natsuke is just poorly written, and there's not a lot of development given to her. Literally, her entire personality in the main game is she listens to manga, or she reads manga. She likes cookies. And if you go through her story arc, which I didn't, but if you go on the wiki and read it, there's still not that much revealed about her other than her parents beat her. But the plus content will really elaborate on that, and we'll find out some other shit that's kind of fucked up, but it ends up being wholesome at the end. So kind of like, it doesn't really resolve because it can't in order to be consistent with the story, the main story. But it elaborates a little bit more on her character in this. But thanks to the power of cheating and reading the wiki, I know that it still doesn't really fully redeem her in my eyes. She's even though she does have reasons to be like anxious and perhaps even angry at the world to an extent, it's still no excuse in my mind to take it out on other people, especially the people that are supposed to be your friends in the literature club. So F tier Doki for Natsuke. Alright, next one up is, and this one I had really thought about for a while. If you had asked me even just 2 weeks ago which one I would put as the next highest tier, I'm kind of giving it away if you can see my cursor. Oh good, it's not capturing it. So haha, you can't see. Alright. So next one up is actually going to be Monica. And let's see, let's drag all the Monica photos up here. Just because we can. Alright. So, originally Monica was going to be higher up in the list because I thought that her character became interesting, especially when she was openly self-aware and discussing things with the main character. However, what she did was fucking terrible, regardless of whether or not these she sees the characters as people or not. Canonically, and again, this is kind of getting into, oh look, I read the wiki, and the wiki explains a bunch of shit that was revealed outside the actual core game, but apparently in some Ask Me Anything that Dan Salvato did on Reddit, he says that the actual Dokis in the game are supposed to be sentient creatures, they're just not self-aware. So they're written so that they're effectively people, they're just not aware they're in a video game. So kind of like if, say, scientists one day said that our world was a simulation, we're all living in the Matrix or something, it'd be kind of that situation. Like, we're not aware we're in the Matrix, but we're all thinking and feeling and living beings. And that's how he intended the Dokis to be in their universe. So therefore, it's kind of fucked up that Monica tortures them and shit and rewrites their code and everything to suit her own needs. So she was going to be originally B-tier Doki, but because, you know, just the self-awareness and, you know, intelligence of the character I thought was pretty cool. But once I read that they're all supposed to be sentient beings, they're just not aware they're in a video game. I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of fucked up. So she's down further. The reason she's higher than Natsuke is because she does repent at the end of the main game, and she's like, yeah, it's kind of screwed up what I did, and I'm sorry, so I'm going to delete everything, which in and of itself is also kind of fucked up, because she just destroyed her entire universe, as far as she's aware. But at least she admitted she was wrong, so that's how she got higher than Natsuke there. All right, our next one, and we're not going to really lead up on this one, because there's only 2 left. Next one's going to be Yuri. The reason being, Yuri was a more interesting character to me than the other 2, especially once I deranked Monica. It was originally going to be Natsuke, Yuri, then Monica, and then obviously, Sayori's going to be the last one. If you can do your math, there's only 4 of them. So Yuri is higher up because she reminds me a lot of a friend I had, and I had, even just 2 weeks ago, I was thinking maybe I'll tell this story, but I've decided against telling the actual story because I figure it's just going to bring everybody down and kind of just be depressing as shit. But I had an actual friend in like middle school and high school who would do the old, well, we can't say that on YouTube. They would utilize the knife in the way that Yuri does in the game. And so that kind of helped me connect with the character, even though it's kind of fucked up. And I also had a different friend who was also quiet and read books all the time and liked poetry. So I was like, that's 2 people I can relate to. So Yuri got placed higher up in there. And then the only reason she was originally going to be D-tier Loki was, first of all, we can make jokes about the D-tier Loki because, the breastises. Apparently that's tradition too. But no, the other reason was just the I'm not, even though I had a friend who did those things, I'm still not comfortable with people doing that. They people need that have self-harming behaviors should seek help. It's not something to laud and say, oh, this is great and they're courageous or whatever. No, you should go see a therapist, work through those issues. So that was originally going to be why she was going to be D-tier Doki. But upon further review, I decided she'll be above Monica just because what Monica did was screwed up because she was aware of her actions and because the Dokis were apparently supposed to be written as thinking and feeling characters. So our last Doki then is going to be Sayori. And the reason being is Sayori, again, I had a friend who was very similar to Sayori in high school. She didn't leave herself hanging in the way that Sayori did, so to speak. But she did go meet Allah earlier than she should have through different methods. And so that, again, this is something I was thinking of originally telling the full story, but I've decided against doing that, so we're going to leave it as vague as possible. So anyway, that kind of stuff helped me connect with the character. Additionally, I have, like, I'm sure everybody has had, like, the energetic friend that likes to hang out and make plans and do everything. And that was really cool. And, like, it's just the kind of person you generally want to hang out with. So that's why Sayori is going to be B-tier Doki. Technically, I probably should have all ranked them all higher, huh? So anyway, that was our Doki list. And then we got a surprise here. We gotta put Dan Salvato on the list if I can find him. He had a picture in here somewhere. I was just looking at it not too long ago. Alright, so there he is. This guy. So Dan Salvato is gonna be A-tier Doki. You know, he's the creator of the game. He's a cool dude. Apparently he made Franker Faces, the Twitch extension, which is really interesting. I have that enabled on my channel on Twitch as well as Better Twitch TV. So anybody that has those extensions enabled, you should get free emotes to use, as well as a few other things. And both of those extensions are really good, but Franker Faces I find to be a more consistent extension, as in it works better than Better Twitch TV, which frequently crashes on my computer. Additionally, he did Dan Salvato did a mod for Super Smash Bros. Brawl that was supposed to make it the same playstyle as Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is the superior version of Super Smash Bros. Anybody that thinks differently is wrong. So it never got officially released because I think he got a cease and desist order from Nintendo. But that was something that when I was younger I was looking forward to. And I was like, I never figured out what happened to this. Well, it's a good thing I streamed this game because now I figured out what happened to it. And he's also making some sort of horror game. It's going to be another visual novel, but it's going to be like an actual horror game just in the visual novel format. It's not going to like try to lead you on thinking it's a romance story or anything. It's going to be, I guess, more of a detective story would be what it is. It's supposed to be called Project Luminarius or something dumb like that. It's going to get a different name when it's actually released. So I'm looking forward to that, and he seems pretty cool. The only complaint I have about Dan Salvato is I got a copyright strike on my last stream of this game because the song Your Reality was apparently claimed by a music company. I emailed the Salvato team, and they've yet to respond. So, if you're ever watching this, Dan, you might want to email me and respond. Let me know whether that company owns the rights to your song or if I should dispute it. Like, literally, I thought it would just be like a yes or no kind of email. Because I looked up the company that copyright struck me, as well as, possible connections they may have to the Salvato team, as well as major music labels and other things. I couldn't personally find a connection, so I figured, well, I'm just going to email his lawyers or whatever, or I'll email him and have him run by the lawyers just to confirm it, and it'll be a yes or no response. Well, it's been 2 weeks, dude. At least give me a status update. But I should probably just actually, in real life, email him and just ask what's going on with that. So anyway, anybody that is streaming this game in the near future, a company called, EMDCA, it's supposed to be they claim to be a Brazilian music label. They're currently claiming the rights to the song Your Reality, specifically the composition of it, which I thought was interesting. Maybe it's defined differently in their legal texts, but here in America, we define the composition as I literally wrote this, and Dan Salvato has claimed repeatedly over multiple years he has written all the songs himself. He didn't even hire anybody to produce them because it's all electronically produced music. So that's why I thought it was interesting that this company is claiming the composition rights to the song. Like, if they had just said that we own the distribution rights, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense, because they seem to be a music label. Maybe they own the rights in that region, and they just got a little carried away with, copyright striking people. But, yeah, composition makes no sense to me. So, had a cough there. Love the mute button to this day. Love it, so quiet. Anyway, I should really move on from that because we're kind of just focusing on something that's a personal problem. Our last one, S tier Doki, is going to be you, the viewer. Aw, how nice. Yay. You can't hear me clapping. We'll move this closer to the microphone. Yeah, go you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah. I made it sound like I'm going to quit, but we actually have a lot more stuff to do. But no, I appreciate the people that stop by all the time. I mean, I have chat turned off for reasons. So, like, I know it can be frustrating at times that you can't necessarily see the people that I'm interacting with, especially if they're on different platforms. But over the years, I've had trolls say all kinds of degenerate shit, so I don't even have the chat enabled to be on the stream itself. And I have it disabled on the platforms that allow for that to occur. Simply because, like, I get so many weird people that come in and they just get shitty with me. Like, oh, you're playing the game wrong and shit. Again, I'm kind of diverting away from the original point of this, which is that I appreciate my viewers. You guys are cool, and I probably don't emphasize that enough. And I should probably do better at interacting with chat, especially off stream. But I mean, if you message me on Twitter, it's fine. Just don't be weird about it. I have my DMs open, actually. And you can always, post on Discord or whatever. I mean, you look in the upper right corner, you got the little social media rotation widget I got going on there. It tells you where to go to, view all my social medias, media platform accounts or whatever. But anyway, so S-tier Doki is you, the viewer. Yay. All right, so let's move on. We will go and play our game now. I can tab over to it. We got the side stories going here. I like how there's 2 different paths. How nice of that. There's 6 different stories. So side stories are stories of friendship that are unrelated to the events of the main game. To get all 6 side stories, try writing poems for the different characters and viewing their special scenes in Doki Doki Literature Club. Alright, this is not what I was expecting. I thought just finishing the game meant that it unlocked it. So that means I literally only get I only get 2 of these because I took such a restricted path. Alright, we're gonna do these. I'm not gonna play through the game 2 or 3 times in order to get all the side stories. So our official standpoint is gonna be I'm gonna play what I play, and then everybody else can read the wiki. Wiki will go into everything. We'll start with trust. Let us begin the side story. Is it gonna load? There we go. Is it capturing the audio? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's a little bit quiet, but it's just piano. Not even piano music, it's harp music right now. So I got soccer tryouts and a bake sale. Like, this is supposed to be taking place in Japan, so why is everything in English? That's actually a thing that Monica covers in Act 3. But, Monica, okay, everyone! The Literature Club is starting! Oh, wait, this is not the right voice. I gotta do the, that's more Sayori's voice. Gotta think, Southern California Valley Girl accent. It's the voice I chose for that, and I keep forgetting. So, can we go back? No, we can't go back. You can never go back. So, the Literature Club is starting. Let's all have a seat and take attendance, okay? I miss debate club. Who knew it would be so difficult to start a new club? I feel worse with every day that passes without anyone coming in. Wait, so she literally started the club and doesn't even have any members? So who was she talking to when she made that announcement? She just comes in and is like, yeah, literature club. Literally nobody here. That's fucking sad, honestly. I'm really starting to lose some of my confidence. Monica is the only member of the Literature Club. Yep, confirmed. Monica is forever alone. Sad. In the days that have passed, all her efforts to recruit new members have been fruitless. Isn't she supposed to be like a hyper-popular character? Like in this game? Unless maybe that's something she did when she became self-aware. She like hacked the file to make herself infinitely popular. I don't know. Am I going about this wrong? Monica glances at one of her flyers. The headline is, "Do you like literature?" Maybe nobody is into literature enough to pick it over their other club interests. I mean, it's kind of a shitty flyer. Like, you just literally have, "Do you like literature?" Like, who doesn't like reading? I mean, maybe if you're illiterate, like Krind, that man can't read for shit. So, maybe he hates literature. I just can't rely on people liking literature. I need to sell them on a vision. A vision. We're going on a vision quest, kids. But what kind of vision? Monica rests her head on her desk, deep in thought. But before she realizes it, the recent nights of staying up too late start to catch up to her. Yeah, I feel that in my soul. It's so quiet, and the noise of the air conditioner is soothing. She's gonna pass out. As one does. Yep. Can't fall asleep at school, they'll kick you out. I think it's supposed to be the main character, so... Hello? Oh, this is Sayori. Alright, fine. Suddenly, a voice causes Monica to snap awake. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I never do this. Actually, I do it all the time. Is this the napping club? No. This is, Monica pauses, suddenly embarrassed to admit that this is, in fact, the literature club. This is the literature club! Yay! I thought I got it wrong for a sec. I'm super sorry. It was, like, so unprofessional of me to do that, the whole sleeping thing. Don't apologize. I do that all the time. I got the big sad. I sleep 90 hours a week. Probably more. Oh. Did I miss the club meeting? Where is everyone? Well, about that. This is everyone. Really? It's just you? But we're getting more members. I'm working really hard on it. Hold on a sec. If it's just you, that means I get to be vice president! Well, that's how Sayori became vice president. Problem solved, kids. We don't have to bust out Scooby and the gang to solve this mystery. Wait, vice president? What are your qualifications? Well, I'm better at napping than you. Depression is sad. Maybe I should be president. Well, now you're just making fun of me. I'm sorry. What was your name? I'm Sayori. Okay, Sayori. I've been trying really hard on this club, so don't fuck it up. I know you caught me at a weird time, but, like, we gotta get it together and be representatives of the club. It's really disheartening to not be taken seriously, you know? I care so much about this. I just want to find other people who do too. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I do care. I promise. I have a hard time being serious, that's all. Is it, okay, it's coming through, okay. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. And I was joking about the vice president thing, too. I would make a terrible vice president, because I sleep all day and have clinical depression. I mean, I'm sure that... Monica tries to say something reassuring, but it's difficult when she still doesn't know much about Sayori. I'm sorry that this isn't, like, a real club yet. Would you still be interested in joining after I found a few more members, at least? Well, no. I want to join now. Really? Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Besides, I can tell how hard you've been working. You're doing something amazing, and you should be proud of it, you know? So let me help you turn something stressful into something fun. If nothing else, I'm good at that, so... Yeah, it's called depression and anxiety. She's an expert at it. Honestly, how can I possibly say no to that? That's really sweet of you, it's really sweet of you, Sayori. Oh, I'm Monica, by the way. You know, like the song, oh, hey, Monica, oh, hey, Monica, hey, Monica, hey. We haven't done that joke in a while, so I had to do it. Monica! That's such a cool name. Aw, now you're just trying to cheer me up. But you're smiling. Well, I didn't say it didn't work. Monica glances at the flyer on her desk and realizes that her name is already written on it. Okay, so I guess she wrote it while Monica was asleep. Who knows? Who cares? So, what do we do first? Well, you gotta get new members, and I gotta turn this volume down. It is so inconsistent. I've been turning it down, it just cranked itself up or something. I don't know. Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? We can go home and try to come up with some new ideas to recruit club members. I can do that. Cool. And I think that we need to put some more thought into my vision for the club. So we're going to go on a vision quest. We're going to get some ayahuasca, or whatever it's called. And, what is it? Is it sativa? Salvia? There's like a bunch of hallucinogens they take on it when they go on a vision quest. We're going to get a bunch of those, and we're going to get into a tent or a sauna, and we're just going to sweat it out and let the hallucinations take over. And we're going to see what the club could be one day. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a murder fest. You know, like a mission. My mission is to make everyone happy, because I'm dead inside. Yeah, something like that. I really need to think about it. Hey, do you like hugs? I guess so. Sayori suddenly pulls Monica into a friendly hug. Then let's go. I like how they didn't animate that. Like, you couldn't, like, awkwardly show them trying to hug or anything. Just, no, put them, like, take the characters off screen. Some people can really just use a hug sometimes. Like me, right now. That's why I did that. It wasn't for you, it was for me. Besides, Sayori whispers loudly, hug energy is what keeps me at my best. Hug energy. Monica laughs. Although Sayori is very different from her, Monica feels her spirits lifted. I really shouldn't be joking about Sayori's depression in this, because the plot of this is that she learns to be less depressed until, you know, Monica fucks with the game file or character file of her in the main game. So, like, the end result of this, we're going to kind of spoil it now, is Sayori makes friends and she's less depressed as a result of it. So, like, had the events of the main game not gone by as they did, she would have been fine. She would have started hanging out with all the cool kids the way Act 1 ended. Maybe it's just... it's not actually my voice here. Maybe it's just because she finally found another club member. But, well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow then. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna think really hard tonight about how to get more people. Yeah, me too. I'm really fucking up Monica's voice today. I can't consistently do that voice. I don't know why. Of course, I can't consistently do any of their voices. I'm trying, okay? Not trying very well, but I'm trying. Alright, a day passes and time comes for the Literature Club. Monica and Sayori, all 2 members, to reconvene. As president, Monica ensures that she's the first to arrive to the club room. But she finds herself waiting longer than expected for Sayori. She was just going down to Home Depot to buy some rope for reasons. It's been 10 minutes already. Maybe Sayori changed her mind about joining? No, that can't be. She was so excited yesterday. But I'm getting kind of worried. Suddenly, Sayori comes bounding through the door. In her hand, she's holding a sheet of paper. Sorry I'm late, I'm here! It's okay. Welcome back. Thanks for finally deciding to show up. I wasn't waiting or anything, you know. And... Sayori spins over to Monica and deposits the sheet onto Monica's desk. Oh, what's this? Take my hand. Is this supposed to be written Wait, they weren't told to write a poem. Why did she write a poem? What the hell? Alright. Alright, I guess this would be Sayori's poem, so... Take my hand. Take my hand. Take me forward. Take me to your dreamland. Caution me to watch my step, so I can't look back at my footprints. Climb the stairs ahead of me while I look up to you. The more I look forward, the more I look up. The more I can lend to you. If you can trust me to follow your pace, I'll trust you to set it. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I'll trust you to return it. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. So she wants Monica to lead her. That's nice. I keep making fun of this, but it's supposed to be wholesome content. And so I'm not going to make the jokes I was thinking of as I was reading that. But we'll try to be wholesome on this, because it's supposed to be a redemption arc kind of thing. Hey, this is really good. I'm going to consistently get a voice down by the end of this stream. I don't know why. I just can't nail it today. You wrote this, Sayori? Of course. Wait, no, that's the wrong side of paper. No, you read about my hopes and dreams. How dare you? Huh? I wasn't ready to share that yet. I'm so embarrassed. Monica flips over the paper. Written on the other side is a list of her ideas for recruiting club members. Why did you put that on the back of your super personal poem? Why didn't you use 2 sheets of paper? Like, just get a sheet of paper out of, like, the closet or whatever, wherever they keep supplies in the school. Like, really? Oh, so this is what you meant to show me. But I'm curious now, do you write poetry often? I do, but I'm sure I'm not anywhere near as good at it as you are. Really? I'm actually terrible at writing poetry. I've never written anything that I was happy with. Like, I always read it again a week after I write it, and I'm like, so embarrassed by this garbage that I wrote. Like, wow, this is so stupid. I don't know. It's like the dramatic version of me doesn't agree with the person I want myself to be, or something like that. You should have more confidence in yourself. You're the literature club president, after all. Oh, I guess you're not wrong there. I need to, like, set a good example or whatever. Do you know, I can envision the club doing something like that. We can all, like, write poetry, and it'll be, like, deep and introspective. And then we'll have this one bitch, she might have pink hair, I don't know, who, like, totally criticizes everybody else in the club. That might be okay to do. Doing what? You know, like, sharing poems that we write and stuff like that. Oh, yeah! I would love that! It's such a great way to learn about other people, you know? It's like, we have so many emotions that we can't express to other people, usually. But you can when it's in a poem, right? Yeah! I think that's what's... I'm fucking up the voice. It's got to be a deeper, kind of like, drawn-out voice. Not nailing it consistently. I think that it's helping me form a more cohesive vision for the club. So I'm glad you showed me, well, even though it was by accident, so to speak, quote-unquote, you totally did it accidentally on purpose, because it's kind of dumb mistake that literally nobody in the history of humanity would ever make. Just use 2 sheets of paper. Me too! I felt embarrassed at first, but now it feels kind of good that someone else read it. I'll try to show you more of them in the future. Aw, I'd love that. Aw, jeez, I'm getting distracted. Do you want to go over this recruitment brainstorm together? My brainstorm's so hard. It was like a brain hurricane. My brain is a natural disaster. That's exactly it. Natural disaster would be it. My brain is a natural disaster. Sayori, that's terrible. Anyway, let's take a look at the list. Make cupcakes. That's literally your entire list. Ma'am, we have serious business to do, and you want to make cupcakes? Well, I was hungry, but it's a good idea, isn't it? Let me think about this. No, it's a terrible idea. Your idea is bad, and you should feel bad, you know? Go back to sleep for the next 12 hours, you know? I mean, when would we have a chance to give people cupcakes? And more importantly, are we gonna lace them with hallucinogens so we can take them on our vision quest? Because that'd be pretty cool. You know, like when they come right into the club. What if we said we had free cupcakes on the flyers? I'm like kind of worried that would bring in the wrong kinds of people, you know? The undesirables, you know, the fat kids. I hope that didn't fuck up on the translator. Okay, good, it actually came through okay. Because I just realized it could come across as a different kind of word, and I didn't want that being on the recording. So at least the transcription got it correct. Wrong kinds? Well, people that come for the cupcakes and then just leave, you know, like the morbidly obese kids, they would totally do that. Nobody would do that. We have already established that the children with eating disorders would totally do that. Well, that would be mean. But, you know, why am I trying a Minnesotan accent? I don't know. But, you know, I want to find people who are really into literature, even if they don't know it yet. Let's see, the next thing on the list, hunt for people reading books. I don't think I get it. Like, going around the school and finding people who are reading books, you know? Like, in the morning, or during lunch, or literally just walking down the hallway with a book in their hand. And we tell them to check out the literature club. Well, the problem with that is, like, wouldn't most people reading books just be doing it for an assignment or something? How would we know if they're reading just for fun? Well, we could ask them, but then we'd be bothering people who are trying to do schoolwork. I didn't really think about that part. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. You're coming up with a lot more things than I can. Your next idea is to hand out flyers rather than just put them up on the wall. I'd definitely like to start doing that. Yay, I'm useful for once in my life. I never said that you weren't, and it's really weird that you would say something like that. Have you considered seeing a therapist about your glaring emotional problems? I just need to think. What would we tell people when we're handing them out? I don't want to be like, hey, join the literature club. We have like books and stuff, and maybe even cupcakes, maybe. I don't know. Let's figure out how we can better engage with people. What if you told them about club activities and stuff? What club activities? There's nobody in the club. How are we gonna have club activities? I guess it's supposed to be my job to come up with that, right? A vision for the club. Okay, Sayori, pretend you're a more... Jesus Christ, that's rude. Alright, Sayori, pretend you're like a normal person for a second. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I did, but I didn't mean to say that, you know? That was really rude and mean. Just, you're a bitch, Monica. Why you gotta be like that? You know, like a random passerby who's getting a flyer. You know, pretend you're like a normie for a second. How would you react to the idea of a literature club? Probably like, literature is stupid. I'm joining the anime club. Oh, what the heck? Sorry, I was thinking about a friend of mine. Okay, what if I said that, like, we do, like, group reading and discuss it together? I would probably nap through that. Well, that's you, Sayori. What do you think a normal human being would do? Yeah, but that doesn't sound like really much fun I'm fucking up the line. No. Yeah, but that doesn't really sound fun to most people anyway. We need to really catch their interest, you know? Ugh. This sucks. Why is it so hard? Why don't they just literally give us, like, a club? Like, if we were playing a video game and we just started up the club, why doesn't it, like, already exist, you know? It'd be so much easier. Monica, don't be sad. What do you like about literature, Sayori? Me? Well, kind of like what I said about the poem earlier. I think that it gives you a chance to express yourself. Like, express yourself in ways that you can't normally do. Like, when you're just going over your normal day and talking to your friends. I mean, we all have so many thoughts and feelings that we just don't get to express and share with others, you know? It's like intimate. Yeah. How do we get that across to people, though? We could be like, express your true self. Be intimate with us. Jesus. Okay, that's kind of degenerate content, Sayori, and this is a Christian stream because for legal reasons we can't be too weird on the internet, or else YouTube will community guidelines strike us. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh! What is it? I forgot all my things in the other classroom. I must have gotten too excited and rushed here. Silly me. Wait, she was 10 minutes late, and she was rushing here from the other classroom? That makes no sense. Sayori, what's your real story? Rush? Even Monica caught on to it good. Rushed, but weren't you like 10 minutes late, you slacker? Never mind. Do you want to go get your stuff then? I'll forget if I don't do it now, so yeah. Well, I'll wait for you then. Okay, it'll only take a second. Sarah dashes out of the room, leaving Monica momentarily alone. I am Speed! Okay, we can't really... maybe one of these days I'll overlay that meme into this area here. I am Speed! Just rushing. Monica sighs and starts jotting her thoughts on a sheet of paper. Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Join the army. Make new friends. Kill other people. Yep, this is an advertisement for the army. Discover a new you. Damn, she's like literally stealing U.S. Army talking points. Dan Salvato, you son of a bitch, you've done it again. Social commentary on another level. Discover your heart. No. Write your heart out. That's actually not that bad. No. Write into your heart. Okay, that's kind of terrible. Write the way into your heart. Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart. Wow. That's lame. Monica! Ah! You startled me. Sorry. Sorry. But it's something important. I saw something. Some rope. On a tree. I got excited. On the way to my classroom, there's a girl reading a book. You know, probably doing homework, but I didn't really check. Reading a book? Let's hurry and recruit her. We're down bad, aren't we? Wait, are you sure she's not doing homework? Well, I could tell she was really into it. Well, I guess we could take a walk. Monica grabs one of her flyers and stands up from her desk. Then the two depart the classroom with Sayori leading the way. This way! You don't have to run, you know, this is a school, and I think canonically they're supposed to be in heels or something, so they shouldn't be running. You're gonna trip and fall. Sayori leads Monica over to a particular classroom, then lowers her voice to a whisper. Probably the first time she's done that in weeks. See? In there! Monica peers through the window. Sure enough, there's a girl sitting alone, intently reading a book. I feel like a creep doing this. It's really weird. You should go inside and talk to her. Me? Well, you're the president, and I would probably scare her away. Okay, fine. I'll do it, 'cause I'm the president and all. Monica takes a deep breath, then timidly enters the classroom. That was fast. Well, did you recruit her? Do we have new friends now? Am I not going to die alone? Oh my gosh, I'm like so embarrassed. Why? What happened? Well, I entered the classroom and she didn't even look up from her book. So I kind of just left the flyer on her desk and then I just walked out without saying a word because like it was just a whole weird situation. That's kind of cute. We're supposed to be borderline adults here, so I'm not aiming for cute. But I'm sure she'll see it and she'll want to join the club, or she'll throw it out. You know, that could also happen. Well, I hope so. Shall we head back now? The two head back to the classroom, Sayori feeling rather accomplished, and Monica still feeling a bit embarrassed by the encounter. Upon returning, Monica and Sayori resume their strategy meeting. They discuss various different kinds of recruitment tactics, from professional to silly. After going through Sayori's list, and with Monica coming up with ideas of her own, the two end in a better spot than from where they began. I like how we just skip over all this, but to be fair, I probably don't need to have a whole discussion on that. Well, I would say that today was pretty productive, wasn't it? Yeah! I think we're starting to make progress. I can't wait to get some new members. Hey, what's this? Sayori peers at the sheet of paper Monica was jotting on earlier. Don't mind that. I was just writing my plot to overthrow you and kick you out of the club. I know you're literally the only other member, and you've only been here a day, but you're really kind of being annoying, Sayori. I was just thinking to myself, join the literature club. Right the way into your heart? That's so cute! I thought it was a little overdramatic, but... Sayori pauses and thinks for a moment. You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. What? What do you mean by that? Like, I don't know. I feel like I can tell from talking to you today. It seems like you're always afraid of doing something wrong. Like you're a scaredy cat. Well, yeah, but, you know, you want to make a good impression. Would you call yourself a perfectionist? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I definitely am. God damn, choking on the spit here. Take a drink. maybe we'll make it through this without dying. I mean, I like always have an idea in my head of how I want things to go. They just don't go the way I want them to do because I'm like really bad at actually visualizing stuff. That's why I want to go on a vision quest. Sayori, have you ever heard of ayahuasca and salvia? It's like really cool stuff. And it's like, I can't accept anything less than that. But I think in the end, it helps me try my hardest at everything, so I don't think it's really that bad. Like, with this club, we have such an opportunity to make it exactly how we want to envision it. But it feels like we only have one shot at it, even though, like, in a few weeks, I'm going to learn that we're all secretly in a loop. But it be like that sometimes. So, I'm just really afraid of it deviating from that, you know, the vision I had on my personal vision quest, which is powered by the 420 crowd. Well, what's the vision? It's, Monica pauses to think and then shakes her head to herself. She sighs. I don't know. I just want everyone to... I don't know. Monica trails off. Smiling, Sayori taps her finger against the sheet of paper. Right the way into your heart. I think what you're trying to do is to make the club that you need the most out of anyone. Well, you're the one who knows yourself best, of course. But I'm here to help you. Monica returns Sayori's smile. It's sort of amazing how kind you are. I hope it's not covering up like a horrible clinical depression set that you have, and that you know things end up okay with you. You know, that this isn't all fake happiness. We're gonna make it the best club ever. It's gonna be the best club ever. Best club ever. Sayori nods and the two remain silent for a moment, lost in thought. The only sound is a steady whisper of the air conditioner. And the only movement is the afternoon sunlight trickling its way in and out of the moving clouds. Sayori breaks the moment with a big yawn. Well, time to go home, I guess. You tell me, you're the president. In that case, today's meeting is officially over. I look forward to tomorrow. Me too! Sayori beams and grabs her things. Well, you can go on ahead. I need a few minutes still. It's gonna take a while for my character to despawn. Oh, I can wait. Yeah, that's alright. I just want some alone time, you know, all by myself, inside, with only my thoughts. In that case, Sayori waves enthusiastically at Monica. Good luck! Try not to, you know, go hanging. Monica smiles and waves in return as Sayori spins her way out of the classroom. All alone, she sighs to herself and takes a moment to zone out. She wasn't prepared for the self-reflection encouraged by Sayori, but she decides it was something she probably needed right about now. The club that I needed the most. I don't get it. I just wanted to start a club with more passion. Something that I could use to help lead people to happiness. You know, the happiness that I have been denied throughout my entire life. It's a big sad moment. Literature is the key to that, you know? Because it's the window to the real person inside of us. Underneath the person who's forced to always smile and blend in. The person who's forced to be perfect. Monica suddenly noticed a folder on the floor by her desk. Did Sayori leave this behind? I hope it doesn't have her homework in it. Worried, Monica opens the folder to check. Poems. It's It's a folder of poems. Well, that's rather convenient because it's a literature club. Become the flower. A feeling of joy is a flower plucked from the ground. The color, the scent, it's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers, as though they grew just for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment, yanked away in an instant. All for me, all for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, 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 every day. Pluck, 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 so pretty in my hair. Pluck, 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 you're gonna die, and you too. Jesus Christ, that took a turn. Beneath my feet, a flower stands alone. It beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers. But to what ends? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in. The prosperous field is a barren wasteland. The fruits of my labor, the carnage of my joy. And that is why I've decided I must become the flower. Damn. We're foreshadowing her depression really quick. God damn. God damn, son. God damn. But yeah, it's, I mean, there's not much to interpret on that. It's pretty straightforward. You know, she got the big sad. She tries to fill it with superficial things. This fly is flying in my face and it's pissing me off. It's one of those times I kind of wish I had a camera so I didn't look like I was just talking weirdly. But yeah, Sayori like fills in her depression with like superficial things instead of trying to go for some more meaningful things. And obviously, somebody that has the kind of personality she has should probably see a therapist and probably be on antidepressants. Because like you can't really talk yourself out of the kind of thought processes that she's having. She's gonna need like antidepressants to kind of like really feel happy. And then it ends up usually being a catch-22 kind of situation where you feel like you're on antidepressants and that's the only thing that makes you happy. So are you really happy? But that's where therapy comes in and just, you know, talking through your feelings and whatnot. But yeah, she feels like she's burning up everything and just, you know, all the superficial things are being consumed and it's just destroying everything around her. So that's a little sad. What the? That's kind of fucked up, Sayori. Wait. Sayori? Aw, Monika's concerned about her. Oh, that's the end of that one. Well, I gotta go to the bathroom, so we're gonna come back in about 3 minutes or so. I'm literally gonna start everything with Okie Doki. I should have done that throughout the entire time we were doing the Doki Doki Literature Club game, especially after the first act where Natsuke says that. So anyway, we finished Trust Part 1. We're going to do Trust Part 2. It took a lot longer than I would have thought. These are supposed to be pretty short events, but I guess with all the screwing around I do, it takes a lot longer. So anyway, we're going to do Trust Part 2. That's honestly probably going to be the end of it at the rate we're going, because it's an hour and a half we've been streaming so far. Then we'll do Understanding Parts 1 and 2 tomorrow after, well, don't really want to do it before or after Red Faction. I don't know, we'll figure something out. We may maybe we'll do Understanding Part 1 and 2 tomorrow, because the voices for those two characters are pretty easy for me to do. It's not going to hurt my feelings or my throat or anything to do them. If I had to do Natsuke tomorrow, it would just not be happening. That character I have way too high pitched, and it just hurts my throat when I try to do that. So yeah, we may just do Doki Doki Literature Club tomorrow, finish out these side stories that we have unlocked, and then we'll do Red Faction perhaps Saturday as like a special stream. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Worst case scenario, I just record the gameplay independently of an actual stream, because, like, I'm not gonna lie about my metrics. Next to nobody watches the Red Faction stuff, because the game's so old and nobody knows what it is. Like, nobody's ever watching it. I've had maybe 10 views between every one of my videos. So anyway, we're gonna do Trust Part 2. We're going to begin this side story. How about that? Let's reposition the microphone a little bit here. Get away from my face. It says it's going okay. We'll be fine then. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monica should have come up with a plan for today's club tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori is going through these kind of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of going the other way around. You know, this is some kind of character development for Monica. We might need to move her up in the waifu listing. That's some degenerate stuff there. Goddamn. Alright. What kind of club president does that? This whole time, I didn't even think to ask her about her own feelings. So much for the stupid vision. And by the way, we never actually did our vision quest. Maybe getting really, really high would help Sayori feel better. Let's get some salvia and ayahuasca and marijuana and like LSD and shit. We're getting on a hella trip, you know? Don't do drugs, kids. Like, I'm joking about this, but no, don't do drugs, kids. It'll ruin your life. God damn. Don't do it, kids. Stay in school. Right. Sayori enters the club with her usual smile. Monica knows it's completely manufactured now, so... Upon seeing the downcast Monica, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monica! Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monica shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me I'm trying to make a club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. I mean, you didn't have to lead like that. You could have just started with, like, saying... Like, she should have said something to the effect of, I shouldn't make the club about myself. The club's about the school members, our classmates, our friends, whatever, that join the literature club. Like, that would have been a... probably, in my opinion, a more tactful way of handling that. And then you could kind of pivot toward, you know, hey, I found this poem. You doing all right, Sayori? You got a little bit of big sad going on? Well, Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monica stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. Like, yeah, I kind of like read it and everything, and we're going to go down to the counselor's office right now, and we're going to hook you up with a therapist, because this is above my pay grade, and it's not really my responsibility to help talk you through this. You need professional help, Sayori. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me, and I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Didn't they meet like literally 2 days ago? And like now all of a sudden she's like, yeah, we're best friends. Maybe it's the disconnect I have. Like, maybe I'm an asshole. Probably I am. But like, I probably would, like, as I'm kind of joking, I would just be like, hey, you might want to go see a therapist here. I don't really know you that well. I literally met you 2 days ago. So, yeah, go over there. And this is probably why I'm gonna die alone, kids. Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday, and as long as we feel happy, we can ignore the feelings inside. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with my actual issues. I want to push them down and feel happy. I like happy. So, if you do this, and I gotta realize I'm not really happy, it's gonna make me feel sad, and then I get all hangy, and that's not good. So don't do this, Monica. And you're just being selfish. Yeah, it's not selfish. Like, she's legitimately concerned, and Sayori's being selfish because she doesn't want to admit that she kind of needs help. Go see a therapist. By the way, kids, I haven't plugged it today. Exclamation help, HALP, in the chat if you feel like you need mental health resources. If you're watching the video on YouTube after we're done live streaming, the link should be the first thing in the description. It'll take me to my card page. I got links to all the resources. We got the old suicide help hotline, which I actually had to update that one because they changed their phone number. I think it's supposed to be 998 now or something like that if you're in the US. But that also reminds me I gotta separate out and get a one for like each major international country. That's a future me problem. We also got resources too. I believe it's the Trevor Project, Trans Awareness Project, something like that. and a bunch of other things, as well as links to resources to find a counselor, like actual counselors that will work with a sliding scale pay grade. You know, as much as I bitch and moan about the American healthcare system, there are resources out there. You do have to look for them, and you do have to work at them. And I personally don't qualify for like sliding scale healthcare, so I hope that doesn't put you off. There may be a possibility you may not qualify to get free or reduced cost mental health care. But the link's in the description if you're interested in checking that out and seeing if you do qualify. Certainly, if you're going through anything kind of difficult times, it's worth looking into it at the very least. But we're starting to bring the chat down, so let's move on. Monica massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's not a paradox, Monica. She's literally deflecting because she doesn't want to deal with her personal problems. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things. We did, after all, meet only 2 days ago. But as unfair as it is for Monica to pry, it's also painful for Monica to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm so sorry that I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monica takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry, but I'm still gonna worry. I think I'll be able to put this aside so we can kind of move on. But by the way, Sayori, go down to the counselor's office. Like, seriously. Can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monica pauses to collect her thoughts. Pausing. This is the literature club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the way that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart. Or whatever, you know. Whatever, we don't care. So I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. Like, damn, you're setting her up to be such a wholesome friend. And then she, like, snaps when she becomes self-aware. God damn, it's Dan Salvato. What a twist. Are you M. Night Shyamalan? Not really. But I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monica returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine. We have plenty of time for that. We have a couple weeks till the festival. I sure do hope that nothing bad happens on festival day, you know? But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? There's no way I can say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. Well, that's fine. I think I'll just need, like, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You kind of just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kind of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. And you can get down... this is not well written right here. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it, but it's not like that's the only way. But it is a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. Oh, I I understand. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I always get caught up in how it sounds, so I forget about what's actually important. Monica pulls out a pen and paper to start writing on. Look, she has extra paper, unlike you, Sayori. Ha ha ha. Stop being a perfectionist. You idiots. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We're all just kidding here. This is all a joke. Laughing. We're laughing. Nobody take this seriously. Monica scribbles out, you idiot, after she writes it down. Although she probably should scratch out the stop being a perfectionist thing too. No, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? That's kind of rude, especially after I was all, like, concerned about you, and now you're being a bitch. Why you gotta be like that? Well, of course not. But the point is, you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But I was just, well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monica rewrites, you idiot, then stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her into the void. It's kind of funny how I wrote this down It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did that exact thing anyway. This is really going to take some getting used to. Well, I believe in you. Thanks. I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course. You're okay, Sayori. Monica continues the exercise, writing down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monica's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew. Monica looks up and down at her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense after looking at this. I thought it said so intense. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating in a weird way. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I have to try really, really hard at it, but I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try to get work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language this time around. Yeah, let's do it! Monica and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. What does that remind me of? As their bond strengthens, there's a game mechanic where they say that every time you level up, and I was just watching somebody play that the other day. I can't remember what it was. Oh, the Yakuza games, that Like a Dragon game, where you spend any amount of time with your companions outside of combat. It's like, oh, your bond strengthens. It's like, oh, cool, what do I get? And it ends up being like some stupid power-up item. But anyway, moving on. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. We're not going to have a poem to read? I'm a little disappointed. My leg's itchy. I gotta get this checked out. Oh, jeez. We got a content warning and heroing type of thoughts and self-hate. I mean, it's Sayori, so what, like, we already know. But poor Sayori. Another day passes. As usual, Monica is the first one to the club room. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monica and Sayori came up with. If only this were the flyer that we gave to that one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the other one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. but the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monica and Sayori had thought that this would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Probably not. High school students are not that introspective. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? It's like there's foreshadowing going on. Not really a fan of that. Can we just not? Monica thinks back to the previous meeting where she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? Yeah, because this is the start of the game. How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monica's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monica was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. Just get a sledgehammer. Just start banging on it. I need to learn to express myself for real. Monica pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. Oh, wait, is it going to be Monica that has those kind of thoughts? Oh, no. Oh, no, Monica, no. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Hey, look, it's where that line from the song comes in at. Yeah. Monica lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. No, don't do it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monica's canvas. Or it's art. Now, put it up on the wall. Be like, this is our new introspective art. Ugh. Out of spite for herself, Monica presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. Does she have like a fountain pen or something? Because that's the only one I can think of that would do this. A regular rollerball ink pen or a gel pen wouldn't do that. You would just, I mean, it wouldn't even have any like ink come out of it, really. It would just have whatever, wherever you set the pen would get a little bit of ink on it, but unless you were moving, it wouldn't really rotate and therefore put out more ink. But I guess she has a fountain pen. I have several fountain pens, and that's a story for another time. But we'll say that for later. We'll shoehorn that into another discussion. I have like 3 of them and a bunch of ink, and I don't write at all with paper anymore. My actual job is all on a computer, so I very rarely write with actual paper. So I might want to either do something with that or sell that stuff, because it's just sitting somewhere and the ink's going to dry out over time. Anyway, she creates a second smear on the paper. Yep, we're doing interpretive art. Come on, Monica. Just move your hand. Monica writes, "This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain." Monica slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today. Yeah, because you're not doing anything. I'm here! Hi! Monica hears Sayori approach her desk, then stops for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits down in the adjacent desk. Bad day? Is this glitched out? Is it supposed to be a black screen right now? Me too. Oh, I guess not. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Showing they're both sad. You too? Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, you established yesterday that she's not really happy all the time. It's all an act. Come on, Monica. Put 2 and 2 together. Captain Depression over here is suffering from a depresso episode. She's espresso depresso today. Stole that one from the internet. Thanks, Chibi. The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so... Oh, wait, I'm using the wrong voice. I swear, I like to pretend I'm good at this, okay? Alright. I think actual voice acting, I would just retake it. It's the fact that I'm doing it live that makes it a little more difficult. You've been working so hard on the club, but also something else, I think. Yep, she's learning about herself, finding out who the true Monica is. And I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just so hard to be vulnerable. How's it going, Lord of Zombies 99? How are you doing? Siri takes the sheet of paper from Monica's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Siri gazes at Monica with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monica takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Oh, it's going to be the Depresso episode. Sometimes I want to die. Well, that's quite a poem there. Sayori, this is really, really hard for me, okay? Her voice shakes. So, if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like a million times better than me. Well, jeez, just don't put yourself down like that. That's not complete. That's completely not true. Siri takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday, I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is the Literature Club. I trust you more than I'm scared. At those words, Monica stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monica's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Find out next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I should probably stop screwing around. It's serious material here. Alright, Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monica waits in gentle silence. I'm gonna get a beer while we're waiting in silence. We didn't wait in silence that long. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's called anxiety. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kind of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. Yeah, but it's not healthy. But that's... yeah, it's literally what Monica's gonna say. But that's... terrible. That's what Monica wants to say, but she stops herself from saying it in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me what's wrong. I know that because it used to be like that, when I was more genuine with my feelings. Sari pauses, seeming to recall something in the past, many years ago. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone. Sari pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too, are you? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. But another part of me, I think, just felt like it'd be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was the right thing for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just Made me feel like I could say it with confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's just so silly, you know? The club is only 2 people, but it already means this much to me. Monica feels a tightening sensation in her heart. That's the high cholesterol. I shouldn't fucking joke about this. It's horrible. Oh god. I'm going to hell. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. So brave and so strong. I don't even compare. Monica steps forward. But, if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy. If you'd like. Now bring it in. Aw, they're hugging. Aw, so nice. Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monica's shoulder. Through their contact, Monica can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monica realizes that all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. Just at that time, Krin's gonna walk in and be like, "Howdy, y'all!" She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything, and I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob as a tear rolls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it feels like everyone just has to put up with me. And I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and at her chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away. Now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monica becomes determined to help her keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now, so she won't let any sadness show. She'll be strong for the best girl. Her voice comes through soft and gentle. This isn't me putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monica offers a few words of comfort. But she knows, Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. And Monica can't magically make them go away. Spoiler alert, kids, she can. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value. To me, and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have ever happened. Even if we never got any new members, I would still be happy. That's what brought you here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monica feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. Aw, that's a touching moment. The two share their embrace for a little while longer, Monica letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. Well, I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy, of course. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you started talking to a professional? Hey, she did it! She did the thing! She finally told her to go see a therapist! Yeah, go Monica! Sayori nods. It's scary. Since it's already so hard to tell people? Yeah. Well, of course it'll always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired. And hungry. Well, I won't make you do any more work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monica smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. What? A new member appears? No, challenger approaches. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Oh, geez, who's it gonna be? Gonna be Yuri? Natsuke? Main character? We'll never know, because that's the end of that story. Darn. That was fun. It didn't take that long. What are we at on time? Oh, wow, that was only half an hour to do that one. I guess when I don't screw around, they go a lot faster. So, let's, I don't know, should we start Yuri and Sayori's log or side story? Or should we call it a day? I mean, it's only been 2 hours we've been streaming. And honestly, if I don't screw around like it did in part 1 of Trust, it would go a lot faster. So, first of all, thanks for stopping by, Lord of Zombies 99. How you doing today? And how you doing, Gauncher? You doing all right? I made an executive decision. We're going to start understanding part 1. The club meeting is suddenly interrupted by the sound of the door, causing Monica and Sayori to turn their heads. Wait, so you're supposed to do them? What happens if you do them in a different order? That's interesting, because I was given the impression you could choose which one you did first. I guess maybe there is a certain order you have to do them in. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Sayori's eyes widen, recognizing the girl. She very conspicuously mouths to Monica. It's her! It's the girl! It's true, the girl standing in the doorway is none other than the girl Sayori had come across reading alone in the classroom. Thanks to Monica leaving a flyer on her desk, it seems she's found her way to the club. Are you here for the literature club by any chance? Yeah, am I in the wrong place? No, yeah, oh, I gotta make sure that's dialed in right. Am I in the wrong? Okay, it is coming through. It seems to be okay. The Yuri voice is like noticeably quieter than the other voices. No, you're not. This is the literature club. Please, come inside. The girl fully steps in the door, but continues leaning against the wall, avoiding any eye contact. Sayori continues to fail, containing her excitement. It's happening! Oh my gosh, yes! Thank you so much for coming. Sorry it's a little empty in here. I'm Monica, and this is Sayori, and we run the literature club. Even though it's just us so far, but... what's your name, by the way? I'd like to join your club. Already? Wait, really? Are you sure? I mean, I should be good enough. I'm gonna make sure. I should be good enough. Okay, yeah, it just worries me because it's such a quiet, so much quieter than the other voices. Everyone is welcome here. You don't have to be good enough. I mean, you have to be good. Oh. Do you want to have a seat? We'd love to get to know you. The girl nods, sliding over to her nearby desk and gently sitting down. So, what's your name? My name is Yuri. I'm Sayori, and this is Monica. Sayori, I said already. Nice to meet you. Do you like fantasy?
Like books?
Yuri looks at Monica.
Fantasy is cool.
Yeah. Have you heard about Annabelle DuPont?
I can't say that I have. Well, she's my favorite.
She's my favorite author. I'm on her 5th book, and it's just... Yuri grins and presses her knuckles against her cheeks in joy. You can borrow my books. I wouldn't mind. You're really in for an incredible experience.
Monica stammers, completely caught off guard by Yuri taking control of the conversation. Damn, you gotta put your foot down, Monica. You're the president. You're the president. You gotta make sure the new members understand that.
Don't do that. That's gonna kick her out. But, she glances sideways at Sayori, silently asking for help.
I'd love to! It sounds like you're really into them, so they must be great!
I'm so happy I found this club. Oh, I'm stupid. I left all my other books in my locker. I should have brought them. Yuri quickly stands up. I'll be right back. I'll go get them for you.
You probably only need to bring one of them for now.
Sayori nervously says that, noting to herself the considerable heftiness of the book that Yuri set down on her desk. True. Okay, I'll go get the first one then. Yuri exits the club room in a flash, leaving Monica and Sayori silently exchanging glances. Oh my god, I wasn't prepared for this. How do I handle someone so intense? I have, no experience with fantasy, except maybe the stuff that I read when I was a little kid. That's probably, a joke compared to what she's into.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. In fact, I think it's neat that we have different people who are into different kinds of literature. It'll be fun to learn from each other.
Yeah, I don't mean to disagree, but what if this is her only interest? Doesn't it kind of seem like that? Damn, Monica, you're kind of being a bitch right now. Don't put her down. You just met her. Maybe Yuri is cool.
Monica, don't you think you should be more optimistic? We have a new club member. This shouldn't be room for anything but being happy. I'm excited to get to know her more. Aren't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for being so hasty. I just got really anxious all of a sudden.
And it's because you're afraid of not being able to take the lead.
What the heck? It's kind of scary how you can point things out like that, Sayori.
Well, I just like learning what makes people happy or sad.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You'd probably be really great at helping Yuri feel more comfortable here.
Maybe you can take a break from helping me with the administrative stuff and just focus on spending time with her.
Yeah! That's exactly what I want to do! Besides...
Sayori lowers her voice. I'm probably gonna need all the time I can get. She taps her finger against the dauntingly chunky book Yuri left sitting on the desk. Right afterwards, the door opens to reveal Yuri's return. I'm back. Her breath is slightly heavy, which, combined with her short-term gone, indicates she may have ran at least part of the way. She makes her way back over to Sayori and sets the book down on her desk. Just as Sayori feared, the book that Yuri brought for her is just about equal in size to the one on Yuri's desk. Well, there are probably a few things you should know before we get started on it. There's some things that are more explained in other books that take place in the same universe, so going over those would be good to keep you from getting confused at the start.
Sayori nervously interjects. Well, I was thinking that maybe for today we can just get to know each other a little bit more. You know, I think if we're gonna be reading together, I would like that.
From across the room, Monica smiles and nods at Sayori while Yuri isn't looking. Oh. Okay. Yuri sits down and looks at her book, then glances around the room, showing no indication that she has anything more to add.
So, what made you decide to join the club?
Well, I like reading, so I was immediately interested. I had no idea that someone was starting a literature club, but that's my fault since I haven't been paying attention to any of the club recruitment advertisements. I only found out because Yuri glances over at Monica. Monica came into my classroom and put a flyer on my desk. Suddenly, Yuri's face darkens and she shakes her head at herself. I was so stupid. I got too nervous and I couldn't even look up, so I just kind of let her walk out. It took me several days just to come here because I was afraid that Monica would tell everybody how inconsiderate I was, but then I decided that was probably irrational.
Wait, no, that was totally my fault. I felt so bad about interrupting you that I just walked out. I was actually hoping that you would come by though.
Yuri exhales in relief. I always seem to interpret things as the worst possible scenario. Well, I was really nervous to come here for some other reasons too, such as there being too many people, but fortunately we don't have that kind of problem, now do we? Not that I mind that much, but I have a really hard time trying to meet a large number of new people at once. So it's actually amazing that it's just the two of you. I definitely came at the right time.
That makes me so happy! I'm proud of you for working up the courage to come.
Yuri smiles warmly to herself. I've never really had the privilege of sharing my interests with others before. It's so hard to find others who are into the same things that I am, except online. Aw, geez, Yuri's one of those neats who sits all day on the computer. Wait, so am I. Shit. I need to rethink my life choices. So I thought that the literature club would provide a chance for me to do that.
What kind of other things are you into?
Like genres?
I don't know, just anything, even if it's not literature.
Oh, just things that you would think are dumb. Sayori pauses with a look of concern on her face.
How about I tell you something that I'm into, and then you can tell me about something you're into?
I suppose that would be okay.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty into crafty things, like making cute little collages or decorating things like cards or jewelry boxes. My room's always cluttered with random stuff because I keep buying things to make gifts for my friends, but then I put it off to the last minute. So yeah, it's kind of something silly that I'm into.
You sound quite creative.
Well, not that much. It's just that you'd be surprised by how much you can do with scissors and glue and stuff.
So I have to share something that I'm into now, right?
Sayori nods.
Well, I guess I'm into nature.
I love nature! Monica, I'm gonna start a nature club! Bye! No, you're not. You're stuck here with me now. Now and forever. Am not! Oh yeah? Well, I hereby appoint you as vice president of the literature club, so suck it, bitch. There, now you're stuck with me. Hey, don't give me responsibilities! I'm sorry, Yuri, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
It's fine. Yuri pauses, feeling awkward after having gotten cut off. I like going out into the woods or to the park. Just places where you can walk or sit and not have any people around. It's peaceful. Just nice to kind of remove myself from everything that matters and let my racing mind operate autonomously for a while.
So, when do you do that?
Just depends on my mood. After school, on the weekends, whenever I feel like I need it.
Wow, I feel like I would never have time to do something like that.
I find that we have a lot more time than we think we do if you don't let it slip through your fingers. The three continue their conversation, led primarily by Sayori, but with Monica chiming in every now and then as well. Monica had intended to leave it to Sayori and focus on her own work, but she found it difficult not to join in. Before they knew it, at the end of the day was upon them once more. Oh, it looks like we should be wrapping up for the day. So, are you two going to be starting on that book at the next club meeting? That's the plan!
I'm so excited.
Sayori beams, and Yuri collects her things. Once packed, Yuri wordlessly waves to Sayori and Monica with a gentle smile. Bye! As Yuri exits, Sayori enthusiastically returns her farewell. Once again, Sayori and Monica are left in the club room, all by themselves. Sayori, you're such a lifesaver. I didn't do anything, I just talked. Still... Besides, it really lifted my mood. It feels really nice when I can put my energy toward other people like that. She was really excited to be included, you know? It made me happy. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll have a great time with her here, especially with you engaging with her. How are you feeling about starting the book with her in the next meeting? I'm kinda scared, but I think she'll be happy as long as I'm trying my best. I think you'll do great. After the surprise of the new club member, it seems like everyone has had their spirits lifted with something new to look forward to. Alright, so I guess we're going into the next day. We don't have a poem to read. So I'm gonna get a beer, and of course we gotta start the next day already. Another school day ends. Swelling her anxiety, Yuri makes her way to the club room, expecting to be the last one to arrive. Instead, she's probably the first one there because she's a nerd. As she opens the door, she's surprised to find only Sayori in the club room. It's club time again! Monica went to the computer lab, so it's just us today. Is that okay? Yuri silently nods, unable to make eye contact.
I'm sorry about yesterday.
Huh? Sayori tilts her head, unsure of exactly what Yuri is talking about.
Well, I mean, the way I got all overly excited to share my books and how you had to stop me so we can talk first, it was so inconsiderate of me. I got too excited and I forgot to think about everyone else in the club, so...
Yuri, you didn't do anything wrong. I thought it was cute how excited you were.
Well, still... I think I changed my mind about the book, though. We don't have to read it.
Huh? Why?
Because I know that you were just humoring me anyway. In retrospect, it's rather obvious that nobody was truly interested.
But if you like it so much, that must be worth sharing.
I've already decided that I'll join the club, so you don't have to try so hard to entice me.
That's not what I was doing. A moment of uncomfortable silence stretches between the two of them. Yeah, that's some really uncomfortable silence there. Well, the thing is, we don't even have any club activities yet. I mean, Monica and I have been working on recruitment stuff mostly. So it just kind of sounded like something fun that we could do together, reading your books. You know, like, as a club activity, that'd be okay, right?
Why am I being so resistant to this anyway? It's exactly what I wanted in the first place, and you're being so nice about it. I really don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry for being like this.
Oh no, she's gonna go all crazy and get all stabby again. No, don't do it, Yuri. Don't do it. You don't have to apologize. Just tell me if there's anything I can do to help you feel more comfortable here. Sayori pulls her desk against Yuri's and sits next to her. The book in question is already on Yuri's desk. Peering over, Sayori reads the cover of the book. It's the Necronomicon, of course. Dusk Bell. Part 1 of the Everlast Saga. It's Dusk Bell by Annabelle! Okay. That was a weird connection to make there. Sorry, I'm ready now.
Oh, right. I should probably get some paper.
Yuri grabs a spiral notebook of hers and tears out a few sheets of paper. Why? I guess we gotta take notes while we read the book.
Wait, how come you need paper?
Oh, it's useful to draw things out sometimes, like maps, timelines, family trees, or just for taking notes.
Look, Yuri, this is a literature club, not like a Bible study group. Just chill and enjoy the book. Notes? Yeah, that'll be an effective strategy.
Exactly. I'm sure it'll be especially helpful for someone new to the genre.
Sayori's joke flew completely over Yuri's head.
But thinking about it, she decides that it's probably for the best that it did. Well, I'm not used to having company through this, but I'll try to help make it as accessible as possible.
I trust you. You're like super smart.
Oh, please.
Yuri tries to dismiss the compliment, but she can't hide her smile and light blush.
You can't generalize intelligence. I'm only smart in the things I have a lot of experience with. Contrarily, I'm awful at anything involving real people. That should be evident enough from the 2 days I've spent here so far. So, in my eyes, it's everyone else who comes off as smart. Especially you.
No!
Sayori rubs her shoulder against Yuri's.
Oh, right. You're such a sweetheart when you're not being shy.
Anyway, would you like to get started?
Okay.
After the minor diversion between them, the two get back on track with their planned club activity. Yuri begins to guide Sayori through the basics of the fantasy world her story takes place in. The more of it she details, the races, the factions, the history, the elements of magic, the more questions that Sayori seems to have. But despite Sayori's expectations, Yuri eloquently guides her through it in a way that's fun to follow along with. It becomes evident that the world-building aspect of the story, not just the story itself, is one that Yuri finds her passion leaning towards.
How do people come up with this stuff? It's like the exact opposite of the kind of writing that I do.
Well, what kind of writing do you do?
Like poetry and stuff like that, just words on paper. The things I write about are just putting down the feelings that come into my head, But this is like, there's so much planning and hard work.
You're into poetry? I think there's an appendix that includes some of the kingdom's written works, like poetry and folk songs.
There's an appendix to a book that you're reading. Alright, sure. We're gonna read a book, and then we're gonna read the book behind the book, which includes an appendix, so we can understand everything. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be rude like that, but geez, that's like a heavy thing to start with, Yuri. Start with something lighthearted, No way! Yuri giggles, filling Sayori's heart with happiness when she realizes it's the first time she's heard Yuri laugh. It means Yuri must be having fun.
Anyway, I think we can get started reading now, if you're ready.
Okay, but I can't read very fast.
Oh, that's fine. I'm very patient. Patience is something I pride myself in.
I see.
Sayori jots Yuri is patient into her notes, because, apparently that needed to be written down so you can keep track of that. Hey, that's for the book.
I'm just kidding. But I'm kind of glad that you're patient, because I need that sometimes. A lot of times, actually. Like, all the time. Sayori flips through the first few pages of the book, getting past the table of contents. There is a table of contents to what's supposed to be a novel, unless I'm misinterpreting this. Maybe they're reading, the actual, history of the book series instead of one of the first books. So I thought they were just reading the first book in the series. But we got some lore to go through, I guess. Okay, Chapter 1! The room becomes silent as the two of them begin to read. But the silence only lasts for a moment before Sayori speaks up again. What does vindicated mean?
Well, in this context, it essentially means that he was proven innocent.
It's okay to ask questions, right?
Of course.
Sayori turns the page. Are these footnotes?
Yeah, a lot of the dialogue has cultural references that require explanation to be understood.
The two continue reading. I gotta say, this book is really heavy. So you have a table of contents, you have appendices, and you have footnotes to a fictional novel. Like, I understand wanting to have a complex book, but like literally, this is supposed to be the first book in the series, and you got all this like side lore that they have to read in order to understand the story. So like, hey, this is book 1, but you really need to read like the entire history of everything in this universe before you can understand book 1. I'm sorry, it just comes across as like bad writing on my part, but I don't know. I never could get into like the really deep books like that. I like the Asimov Robot series, and that was about as deep as I could ever get in a book. I usually just read pop fiction whenever we had a required reading in high school. So maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I can't read. Yuri's relaxed expression remains unchanged. Meanwhile, Sayori's expression grows tense as she tries to make her way through the dense text. Up until now, their expressions had been reversed, with Sayori easily navigating social situations and Yuri struggling within them. But the turntables have turned yet again. Wait, are they talking about the past right now? Or the present?
Where?
Right here!
They're talking about the past. These paragraphs are describing a flashback that Barnes is having.
But they didn't tell me that.
It's implied from the context.
Sayori rubs her temples. The two of them continue, with Sayori asking fewer questions as she slowly gives up trying to understand this ridiculously complex book. She begins to understand the value in the notes as she finds herself referring to them somewhat often and even adding to them. But her reduction in questions comes not from her getting used to the reading, but rather from her fearing that she'll come across as stupid. Yeah, I would probably do the same. Like, just kind of go with it, Sayori, until you get through the book, and then hopefully maybe she'll agree to read something of yours, and you can take a break from reading 500 pages of dense lore as the plot progresses like 30 seconds into the future. At last, Sayori reaches the end of the chapter, 3 hours later.
I think we can stop here for now.
Okay! Sayori takes a deep breath and closes what little of the book she's gone through so far. Not even gonna put a bookmark in there. What a Chad.
So, what are your thoughts up to this point?
Sayori tries to find words. Am I doing well so far?
Huh? I'm not sure that I understand.
Well, I don't know. When it takes me so long to read and understand things, it makes me feel really dumb. But I really like how you get into it, like really into this kind of stuff. It makes me want to keep going and to keep doing my best so I can see it the way that you do. The relaxation in Yuri's expression fades.
I see.
Yuri quietly gathers her things. We can continue tomorrow, right? Yuri pauses, then shakes her head.
We can do something else tomorrow.
But...
I'm sorry.
Wait, sorry for what? I don't understand.
I'm sorry. That's all. Just sorry, okay? Just drop it, okay? I don't want to do this anymore. That's all. I'm sorry that I made you.
Huh? Yuri leaves. You weren't making me! Sayori is left alone with her words. How did this happen? We were just having fun a second ago. It's my fault. I said something stupid and I hurt her. I should have just told her that I enjoyed it. Monica trusted me with this, and I let her down. It's the only thing I'm good at, and I still messed it up. Well, she doesn't want to come back. Drowned in guilt, Sayori stares blankly at her desk, spread with notes. The book sits next to them. Right. If she wasn't coming back, then she wouldn't have left the book here, right? Well, that's just some grade A copium right there. She can always just come back, take the book, and leave. She doesn't have to stay the next day. Unless she just forgot to take it with her. Yeah, that's probably what happened. This is horrible. Was it really because she thought I wasn't enjoying our time together? Or maybe she wasn't enjoying our time together, because I'm not good enough. Probably let her down by having so much trouble following along. Yeah, I'm sure if I was smarter, she'd be having so much more fun. I need to do better for her. Well, get good, scrub. Is that the end of that already? Really? That was like 20 minutes. Wow. See, kids, time flies when I'm not adding extra notes to the story. If I actually read it and don't screw around, we get done. We'll just do this one. I mean, I'm having fun, and everybody else seems like they're having fun, I guess. Everybody's hanging out still. That's cool. So we're going to start part 2 of the story. And Sayori's going to get good. For the first time, Sayori is the first to enter the classroom. Wasn't she the first one in the classroom yesterday? Just saying. Anxiety courses through her relentlessly, as it does every single day. Will Yuri show up today? Will Monica show up today? Will Cringe show up today? And what about that Natsuke nobody has ever mentioned yet? Sitting at a desk, she stamps her feet in an attempt to calm down. Why am I letting this affect me so much? I'm doing everything I can to make Yuri happy. But my best wasn't good enough. But it was still my best. But I'm letting everyone down. I'm always just a disappointment. Sayori continues to wrestle with her self-deprecating thoughts. Every tiny noise causes her to lift her head in anticipation of Yuri's arrival. ... Minutes pass, and nobody enters the club room. Sayori might have forgotten that today is the weekend and nobody's in school. Not Yuri, nor Monica. Then she looks at the calendar and realizes, oh look, it's Saturday. Nobody's here. Gosh, I'm so late. Why did I offer to help those other students with their work? Yeah, how dare you help other people? Bad Monica, only be selfish. I'm such a pushover sometimes. I'm gonna leave such a bad impression on the new club members like Yuri if I'm not the first one there. Monica rounds the corner, approaching the club room. As she does so, Yuri jumps at the sound of Monica's voice. She's sitting outside the club room against the wall next to the door. Embarrassed, she quickly closes the book that she was reading and stands up. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm late. You didn't have to wait outside for me. The door to the club room is open. It's not... Yuri stammers, unable to explain herself. She just didn't want to go inside, okay? She didn't want to deal with the crazy lady. She peers inside the club room through the window, then looks away. Actually, I was just wondering if I could help you instead. Actually, I was just wondering if I could help you today instead. Huh? Me? With club publicity stuff? Yeah. Monica is utterly confused. Why is Yuri asking all this all of a sudden when she was so eager to spend time with Sayori before? Did they not get along after all? Monica looks into the club room herself to see Sayori sitting alone inside. Okay. It's kind of a simple job, but I'd be happy for you to tag along. Me too. Monica is worried, but she finds it difficult to insert herself into whatever conflict that may have arisen. It's a little ironic, she realizes, that she can be so conflict avoidant after having been in the debate club. Okay, let's take a walk together.
I just have to make a couple copies of this new flyer, then we'll go around to the billboards and replace the old ones with the new ones. Yuri nods and the two set off. Uh-oh, content warning! Got some self-hatred coming up, kids. The two walk in silence. Without Sayori, Monika finds it quite difficult to strike up a conversation.
So, how's everything been going?
Fine.
That's good.
Neither of them follow up with anything more. This is the most awkward conversation on the planet. Monika tenses up at the stinted conversation. How the heck does Sayori do it? She deals with it by being completely fake. I thought we established that already.
Sorry, I didn't see you yesterday. I went straight to the computer lab to work on the flyers.
Yeah, Sayori told me.
So what did you two end up doing yesterday?
Just some little light reading, just the first chapter in our book. It was only 100 pages.
Oh, I'm glad. It's really starting to feel like it's more of a literature club now. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I felt so intimidated at first when I heard about the kind of reading that you were into. But, it's kind of stupid of me, just because I'm intimidated by the things that I'm not good at. And it's silly to assume that everyone who comes into the club will just have the same interests as me. But it's so cool that you're able to get Sayori into it. It's like the club is working. I'm really happy about that.
She's not into it.
Huh?
She's not into it, and I'm stupid for forcing it on her.
Yuri falls silent again, as if she started her thought but can't figure out how to continue it. Did something happen? Yuri sighs.
No, it's just me.
Yuri pauses.
Huh? I'm thinking. I'm still thinking.
A moment passes in silence. Then Yuri shakes her head.
I shouldn't be complaining to you all of a sudden.
Don't be silly. I won't think that you're complaining. I just want to make sure that you feel welcome. If it's important to that, then you can tell me anything.
Well, I do feel welcome. Too welcome, I guess. It's not an issue with the club. It's an issue with me. I feel so wrong to inconvenience you with it.
Monika pauses and thinks. Well, what if we put it this way? It's my job as president to understand the needs of the club members, right? We're going to have all kinds of people join this club. Hopefully, anyway. And learning about the diverse needs and interests of everyone will help me come up with club activities that everyone can be happy with.
That everyone could be happy with? Wait, I should, are you trying to say that I should, take other people's needs into consideration? I shouldn't be selfish, and I shouldn't be, self-loathing like I am right now? That's a crazy concept, Monika. I don't think I understand that. Not just only some people?
Of course! I need to be looking out for everyone, otherwise what kind of club would it be?
I see.
Yuri looks a little more relaxed. It signals to Monika that switching from a sympathetic approach to a pragmatic approach was a good one. Each individual truly does have their own needs.
Okay.
Yuri takes a deep breath.
I'm a really weird and awkward person. I've accepted that about myself. I just don't know how to, connect with other people. How is it so easy for everyone else? How do you just make conversation about an arbitrary topic? I could talk for hours about the things that I'm into. Unfortunately, it's not so much that so much I don't know when to stop. But for anything else, I just have no idea what to say. So I understand that about myself. I'm just not good with people. I can't help it. So it feels like whenever I'm confronted with a new social situation, I'm either ignored or made fun of or even taken pity on. And it feels like Sayori falls into that third category.
What? Hold on. Are you saying that you feel like Sayori is taking pity on you? Yuri nods.
I just want to be treated like a normal person. If you don't like me or don't connect with my interests, then just tell me. I can accept that and move on. Sayori is too nice to me. It's a little bit suspicious. Almost like Sayori has some sort of mental health condition of her own, and it just compounds with mine in a really bad way. I'm so stupid for not realizing that she would just go along with whatever I pushed onto her. Nobody deserves to put themselves through that kind of discomfort just because they take pity on some weirdo who doesn't know how to make friends. It's just the worst feeling, and I hate it.
Yuri's sharp words cut through the tense air. Somewhere in the middle of the conversation, the two stopped short in the hallway, prioritizing the conversation over their original task. Monica looks at Yuri, and Yuri only looks down with her fists clenched. I think that you should tell her that.
I can never say that to someone's face. It's pathetic.
Sayori is, different. That's the terminology we're gonna go with. She's different. She's built differently, okay? Making people happy is the most important thing to her. I'm sure that's all she's trying to do. So if you're, like, able to explain to her what makes you so happy... That's not... Okay. So if you're able to explain to her what makes you happy, then she'll do anything to make that happen.
That's the problem, though. What kind of friendship has one person always trying to cater to the other person's weird needs?
What is she talking... Like, you were just reading a book. You were reading a book together, and you're like, oh, I'm such a weirdo. Oh, she likes... We're both in the literature club, and we're reading books together. This is a weird thing to do. It's literally what you're there for.
I'm sorry. I'm making myself sound so...
No, I think I'm starting to understand. This entire club is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Monica hesitates to finish her thought out loud. It's something that Sayori would be able to say better. Sayori is someone who will give anyone however much kindness they need in order to smile. But Yuri, who has difficulty accepting kindness, must be driving Sayori to be even more assertive in her kindness, further exacerbating the matter. Neither person is to blame, but it's an issue that can't be resolved without them understanding each other better. Sayori wants to be your friend. I promise that. It's okay for different people to have different needs. I mean, Sayori... Well, she has her own needs too. But good friends work together and can be what they need for each other. You just have to have good communication and talk about it.
I don't have good communication. That's literally what I've been trying to tell you, Monica. Have you not been paying attention?
Yuri stops and shakes her head.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it like that. My head is just... It's so resistant to everything. I'm pushing such a kind person away from me just because of that.
Yuri pauses to think.
I'm thinking. I'm so tired of the cycle that I'm creating for myself. I think I'm so afraid of pushing other people away that I push them away first. How thoughtless and immature of me.
Yuri takes a deep breath and exhales.
I didn't mean for this to turn into a whole venting session, but I understand now that I just need to communicate with her.
You're totally fine. It's for the club, remember? And you're just helping to make the club a better place for everyone.
Yeah? Yuri falls silent again. She looks like she wants to say something. This kind of critical thinking is something that I'm really bad at. You know, about people. So, thank you.
Anytime.
Monika smiles at Yuri. For just a moment, Yuri finds it in herself to meet Monika's gaze, returning a shy smile of her own. I think that might be the end of this already. Yep, let's hit the microphone. Why not? Yuri and Monika finish replacing the old flyers with the new ones. More accurately, Monika mostly did the work while Yuri followed along. Jeez, you didn't even make her do anything? It's like, hey, follow me around. It'll be fine. But as the club room once again draws near, so does Yuri's confrontation. I can't do this.
Yeah, you can. It'll be great.
Yuri sighs and shakes her head. I'm never gonna feel confident enough. I just have to do it. If I don't do it now, I never will. Yuri starts to head toward the door, but then she turns to face Monika. You're not just gonna wait outside, are you?
I can take a walk if you want. Want me to go get you a coffee or something?
Actually, I prefer tea. I like to make my own though, so please don't worry about it. Although, I suppose that's one downside of reading here in the club rather than at home. I don't get to drink tea while I'm reading. Sorry, I guess it has nothing to do with this.
You know, now that you mention it, I bet that we can get permission to keep stuff for tea in the club room. You can use like an old electric kettle to heat up water, right?
Would that really be possible?
I'll look into it. I think it would be great.
Yuri smiles and nods at the thought.
Well, I'll be back in a bit. Good luck.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. Monika waves at Yuri and then turns around and departs down the hallway as Yuri's smile fades once more, as she realizes she has to actually talk to another human being. It's the worst thing in the world for her. A moment of daydreaming about tea isn't enough to save her from the anxiety of the task that lies before her. But it must be done. Taking one more deep breath, Yuri timidly opens the club room door.
Yuri! Wait, hold on, I'm not done yet!
Yuri shovels a bunch of papers around. Yuri stammers, her words suddenly caught in her throat. At that moment, she realizes how Sayori has been spending her afternoon. Yeah, they kind of just dumped her there without letting them know that they were going to be putting out flyers. So they've been gone for like an hour now. And Sayori's just like, hey guys, where are you at? I'm all alone in here with my thoughts. It's not a good time. Anybody want to come back? I wasn't expecting you to come by today. I was really hoping to make it all the way through the next... we're gonna redo that line. I was really hoping to make it all the way through the next chapter first. But then I got most of the way through it. And look! Sayori holds up a sheet of paper. It's a page of notes, beautifully produced with indentations, categories, and even color coding. Yeah, you went full on into this note-taking thing, huh? As Yuri sees it, her expression shifts from anxiety to despair. I was afraid that you were getting disappointed in me, so I've been trying really hard. Stop. Stop it. Get some help. Yuri pressed her fists against her forehead. Please, stop. McDonald's wants you to be happy, so stop it. Get some help. I can't take this. Yuri! Sayori's voice quivers in shock after having received the exact opposite response than the one she was expecting. I'm sorry. Sayori looks away in guilt. Did I do something wrong?
I don't understand, so if I did something wrong, please tell me.
Yuri shakes her head. No, it's me. I keep putting myself in these situations where people are afraid to treat me normally. If you don't like this kind of reading, it's okay. Please, just tell me. I don't need to be treated differently just because I'm weird.
But I don't treat you any differently. I just want my friends to be happy. So I thought that if we did something together that you really like...
I don't want your pity. Why did I do that?
Yuri sinks to her knees and her voice squeaks. I'm sorry.
Tears of guilt and self-loathing begin to stream down her face. This isn't how it was supposed to go. Why is it so hard just to articulate your thoughts? I don't know, I have trouble articulating the words on the screen, so it's just a bad time all around. Why do you end up pushing everyone away from you? Yuri's mind pounds with internal accusations as she shuts her eyes, unable to face Sayori or the rest of the world. She should leave, just escape from here, before Monika sees her like this, and before Sayori tells Monika what she did. But before Yuri can put any strength into her legs, she feels a warm pair of arms gently wrap around her from behind. Alright. Probably shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be like that.
It's okay.
Sayori whispers in a soothing voice. It's okay. It's okay. Overcome by despair, Yuri finds herself unable to protest or pull away from Sayori's kind gesture. Yuri sniffles, breathing heavily through a clenched throat, trying with all her willpower to control herself.
I understand.
I understand that the things you're feeling in your head are different from the things that you're trying to say. I know what you must be feeling like right now. I promise, I understand that. So I'll give you as much time as you need. When you're ready, just tell me your feelings, and we'll talk about them together, okay? Yuri sniffles again and nods her head. She gives herself a moment to compose her thoughts, then speaks while steadying her voice. I think that I've gotten so used to people being weirded out by me that it feels like anyone who's nice to me is just doing it out of pity. I'm so horrible with people. So it makes me not want to believe that someone can truly like me for who I actually am. Yuri pauses, but Sayori doesn't interrupt. Rather, she waits for Yuri to continue. I got so excited when I joined the literature club. I thought that it was finally my chance to make friends through my interests. Because my interests are the only things that I know how to talk about. It's all I have going for me. But then, whenever I catch myself getting overly obsessive in front of other people, it just feels like I'm making a fool of myself. I hate myself for it. Ultimately, I just want to be treated like a normal person. But how am I supposed to expect that when I can't behave like one? I just want to learn how to get along with people and stop ruining things for myself. That's all. Yuri finishes her thoughts, feeling more steady after having gotten them out. Sayori, who can feel Yuri's breath rise and fall beneath her arms, realizes that as well. Thank you for helping me understand you a little bit better. You know, you were so great at helping me while we were reading, so I'll help you with the things that you need too. But I feel like it would just be frustrating for you with how much patience I require sometimes.
That sounds kind of familiar. I couldn't stop worrying about that while we were reading. I was so afraid that you would get frustrated with me.
But I would never do that. I did my best to reassure you by mentioning how I have a lot of patience. Yeah, I know, but my irrational fears just won't be quiet sometimes. I'm sure it's the same for you, right? Yeah, irrational fears. How about that? Well, oh, that's the wrong voice. Well, there's no way that you could frustrate me because I already like you as the person that you are. I know that you've had a hard time believing that, but I promise that it's true. You don't have to be a social person for people to like you. I think you're really considerate in your own way, worrying so much about other people's feelings. We're all kind of weird. I mean, it's a literature club. But it's the best part that we're all different. We all have different interests. Like, about the book. I'm reading it because I want to. I promise. That's what I really want. It's a bit of a struggle, but try not to mistake that for me not enjoying it. I mean, we can never discover new things if we didn't try them first, right? I want to learn the reasons that you love it so much. And in the end, if it's not for me, then I can say that, but I'll be glad that I tried it and tried to learn a little bit more about you in the process. Besides, you're like super duper smart, and I want that to rub off on me. Yuri fights back a smile at that comment. Already, the heavy atmosphere surrounding her seems to have evaporated through the caress of Sayori's arms. Your hair is so pretty. I always wanted long hair, but I was awful at taking care of it, so I cut it all off. Yuri's tension relaxes. For once, she feels okay just listening, rather than worrying so much about saying the right thing. Sayori, sensing Yuri's comfort, lets her rest. It must be so difficult for her to feel relaxed around other people. But if the literature club can make it happen, then it's something that she deserves to experience. And I believe that's the end of part 2 of this. Nope, we got a little bit more. Well then. Based on my understanding of your feelings, I suppose I wouldn't mind if we were to continue reading. That's what I wanted to hear! But we can stop at any time. If you truly don't like it, please be honest about it. I won't be offended. Of course! I'm not gonna judge anything this early on, though, so we'll just try it and see what happens. Oh, and, it's not good to touch people without their consent first. Jeez, that's your major concern there? Okay. Sure. It's a different era. I'm an old man, apparently. Whatever. Oh no! I'm so sorry! I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Oh, you didn't. You didn't make me uncomfortable at all. I mean, I suppose it was kind of nice. I was just saying... I'm back! What'd I miss? Monika's back! I haven't seen you, at all recently. It's almost like you're not part of the story. Sarah trots over to Monika. Ah! She whispers loudly. Can I hug you? Sure, Sayori. Sarah wraps her arms around Monika. Oh yeah, Yuri, it might be good to know. Sayori can be kind of a hug monster, if you know what I mean. Ah. Hey, don't call me a monster. Artemis is a monster. If he inherits the kingdom, it could spell disaster. Yuri laughs. Monika perplexedly looks between the two of them and then smiles. Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying your book reading so far. It's like our first real activity together as the literature club. About that... Well, you've been so patient with exploring my interests. I think that it would be inconsiderate of me not to return the favor to you and to learn about the things that you like. Yeah! Do you like poetry? Yuri smiles. Why did it pause like that? Would it just glitch out? That was just weird. Alright, so that's the end of that. I didn't unlock Natsuke's path, so we don't have her stories. I don't think I'm gonna redo the game in order just to get her story unlocked on that. But that's gonna do it for Doki Doki Literature Club. Anybody that's interested in seeing Natsuke's run through or side stories related to her, I don't know, Google it. Go on the old Twitter net or whatever, read the wiki, go to a YouTube video and watch that. While I did enjoy the game, it's just very time consuming. It's supposed to only be a 20-hour game, but I've probably been playing it for about 30 hours, mostly because I keep screwing around and making jokes and everything during the whole thing. So I rather enjoyed it. We may do this as like a recurring thing in the future, but for the time being, that's going to be it for Doki Doki Literature Club. I managed to get that all out in 3 hours, so it's a good thing. Like, literally, the first 90 minutes of this stream was just part one of Sayori's side story, because I screwed around so much. But we got through the rest of them in, like, the other 90 minutes, and that was pretty okay. Come to think of it, well, no, because I want to stream it if I'm going to do Natsuke's run, because, there's stuff in the main story that is relevant to the side stories, and so maybe we'll leave this game installed, and then, as I play Fallout 76, we may do a separate run of Doki Doki Literature Club focusing on Natsuke, just so that I can get the content for her thing unlocked. And then maybe we'll see if I can get an achievement or something for doing all that. But that'll do it for today. Tomorrow's going to be Red Faction. And then because we only have a little bit of Red Faction left, I have a game. I can't pronounce it, but it's one of those. It's a Japanese horror game. So we'll play that. The entire game is in Japanese, though, so we're going to be doing some Google translating to try to get the lore behind the story. The game itself is only supposed to take 30 minutes. I'm willing to bet it's going to take like an hour and a half for me to actually go through it, because I'm translating everything. Which means if there's like a quick time event, we're going to die multiple times during that. But that's the way the turntables turn. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming out, Lord of Zombies and Goncher, and anybody else that I've missed. I know that the chat really hasn't been updating like it should be anymore. That's another thing, that it be like that sometimes. But thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to play the outro music, as we always do. See you in the next one.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more. Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop.